Hello, this is Carter Machiavelli here again. Same day, another video, because I got a little creative with my video ideas, so here's a quick little thing that I wanted to talk about, which is regarding doing stuff alone, outside, in the wild civilization, the wild modern civilization we live in. Nowadays, especially in some rougher areas, in some more developed areas like big cities, metropoles, and stuff like that, it's more common and common for people to be busy, people to spend more time alone, being less around family and stuff like that. And therefore, it's important to learn how to do certain activities if, for example, your friends are busy, your friends are married, and all have their family life. They always say that once people get married, your old friends, they are very busy with keeping their wife and kids happy and taking care of them to do activities such as going to a bar, drinking, playing pool, playing darts, or something like that, as regularly as you used to before. So your old friend circle still stays your friend circle, but you aren't as regularly meeting up as you used to. And so, for those people like me who are not planning to get married that quickly, or those people that have, well, basically more or less unofficially split up or subtly split up with their friend circle because they moved to different areas because they started studying somewhere else or something like that, it can become, I'd say, increasingly difficult to find new friends because it's hard to replace the old friends you've kept for years. You have a special connection with them, and it's quite hard to, well, I'd say, find the same kind of friends you used to find because one kind of special connection is not, almost, in some cases, almost impossible to replace. Now, what I noticed, however, when I was younger, when I was like in teenage years, when I used to go out with friends or do shit with my friends, it was always some designated hobbies, so to say, designated games to play. Like, for example, uh, playing pool in a bar or playing darts. Darts is one of the sports I personally hate. I think it's very one-dimensional, but a lot of people like it. Um, and I noticed when I was a child, I was always constantly fearing I wanted to go do shit alone, but I never had the courage to do so alone. And after COVID came, the lockdown started, and people started to get vaccinated, which uh, let's say it politely, I don't understand up until this day. I never got vaccinated, so I had the basically I had no possibility to do anything unless I got vaccinated, except for like going to the supermarket and taking care of my basic needs like eating, drinking, shitting, and sleeping. After shit started to open up, because of the dissonance of all of my former friends getting vaccinated and uh, following the COVID rules, the COVID um, recommendations, like good little kids of the government, I was more of the not directly rebellious. You could say rebellious. I took part in some of the demonstrations, but I was strictly denying it, not getting vaccinated for over a couple of years, and this led to some uncomfortable political discussions with my friends, which led to us not agreeing on anything, and me losing many of my former friends. And after all of the restrictions for vaccinations and masks and whatever were lifted, I needed to figure out some kind of way to do things alone, and I tried out different things, like going to the movies alone. If you are a movie enthusiast, this will probably be one of the more fun experiences for you. For me, it was quite basic because I was never really that much of a movies guy, but I liked sitting in a movie, eating nachos, and drinking my 1 liter, 2 ounces of soda or whatever. It was like it gave this kind of nostalgic vibe to it, sitting in the movie theater, so it's okay. But apart from that one time, I have never been to movies alone again, simply because there are not movies that really provoke my interest in the nowadays. So I tried out different things, and I managed to find 3 things that are more fun doing alone than doing with a bunch of friends or one friend or whatever. And I'm going to list my top 3 of those things and explain why I listed these. So, number 3, it's mini golf. Now, for some reason, I am a huge fan of mini golf. I like it. I'm not a big fan of real golfing because I don't know. I've never played it, but watching it on TV, it was like never really that amazing for me. I always liked these small houses and obstacles you had to get around the mini golf. And mini golf is the most recent thing I tried playing alone, and it was super fun. It was really like fucking annoying at some point, but it was super fun because I set a sole purpose mission, and it was to stay in the mini golf lane for as long as possible and trying to achieve 18 hole-in-ones at each one. And usually when you go out like with a psychotic idea like this, when I was younger, I used to have like these, I would say, restricting thoughts in my head, like, right, what are the people going to think about? Is there any kind of like social judgment happening? This is what was going on when I was younger, in my teenage years or something, in my early teenage years, so I wouldn't do it. But if you manage to get across these barriers and just simply stick to it and do it alone, if you are as much of a perfectionist as I am, you're going to have a lot of fun because it will really challenge you trying to get 18 hole-in-ones, especially if you're not trained in mini golf, which apparently there are some kind of communities for mini golf that actually go to mini golf areas to practice and competitively. And there are also mini golf world championships, which is a little bit too geeky for me, but I can understand why people like it that much. And so when I went there, near my hometown, I paid the ticket for, I think it was $15 or something. I got a mini golf club and the ball, and it was a ticket for the whole day, so I could spend as much time as I wanted there. And almost all the mini golf lane has been empty because it was an indoor, like blacklight mini golf or something. And what I realized is it was really comfortable when it was completely alone, but after that, a couple of people started rushing in, some families, where it started getting a little bit annoying, because at some places I had to give way. I had to offer my lane to the family that came after me because I was taking so many tries to get the hole-in-one. There was also a lane, which was a curved one with 2 diagonal hills, which took me around 150 to 200 tries to get the hole-in-one, but man, I was happy when I got the hole-in-one at the end of it. So who knows, maybe I'll get the GoPro someday, and or some kind of camera or something, and I'm going to film that shit and you'll see me get a compilation of all 18 hole-in-ones. That would be fucking hilarious. Now, anyways, this is like the perfect way to like practice logical thinking, visualization, and other stuff like this. And also your like body movement, getting more precise shots, getting better at Minigolf. So if you want to basically mock your friends at playing Minigolf, the best way is to go alone and try to practice hole-in-ones. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. Also, the workers at the Minigolf center I was at, they looked at me pretty stupidly. They were also pretty suspicious of what I was doing in there for 3 hours. But after I told them, they laughed their asses off. So they kind of found it cool that I was there alone, just grinding my way to 18 hole-in-ones. So it was definitely worth it. But try to, if possible, bring something to drink with you and something to eat, because it can get really tiring. It's also a great lower back exercise, trying to picking up the ball hundreds of times. I was basically deadlifting without weights, which is kind of embarrassing, but fuck it. It's definitely recommendable. Now, spot 2, place 2, is going to the fun fair or going to a amusement park alone. Now, this is a special one. And this is also, if you are not a person that is really high in income that can spontaneously go to a amusement park and leave 80 or $100 there for an entry there, this is probably something you should save up to. But going to an amusement park alone is like you have full control over what kind of rides you want to enter and what not. So you don't have these like it's the same as with Minigolf. So if I challenge my friends to go Minigolf and score 18 hole-in-ones and play like that, no one in their right mind would go, because I'm the only insane person in my friend group that would do that shit. So I can live out my insanity like that. It's the same as with going to the amusement park. So if you have friends that are not that adrenaline tolerant, you would feel bad if you went on a ride alone, because your friends are just waiting for you, like while you are having fun on the ride. And I don't know, maybe some of you more egotistical ones would seriously have the audacity to do that, but I personally, I wouldn't go on the ride alone if my friends were with me and I would know that they can't enjoy the ride the same way I do. And this is the first factor on it. The second factor on it, if you are kind of afraid of roller coasters, or if you are afraid of some high flat rides that go up like, I don't know, 50 meters or 60 meters, this is the perfect way to basically challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone and get used to it. And this is also positive because the only motivation, the only intrinsic motivation, the motivation is only intrinsic, not as extrinsic, meaning that your friends won't force you to go on a ride you don't want to go on, but you have to force yourself in order to level up your fear tolerance. And this is the reason why, if you are afraid of such things, you should gradually take your time, gradually ride some rides you're comfortable with up to the limit of, I'm a little bit afraid of that, and build up a little, desensibilize yourself for the adrenaline that kicks in. Me personally, after at a certain year of my life, not really that intolerant for the adrenaline or the height. mainly because I used to climb outdoors on high buildings and stuff like that, and so I'm kind of used to the height. I don't have as much of a fear of heights anymore, so it's way easier for me. But it's definitely something I'd recommend for any one of you who wants to, I would say, get mentally stronger and try out more things, like expand your comfort zone in a way. Now, 50 minutes already, fuck. Whatever. I'm going to go to the last part. This is the first spot, and this is rock climbing or bouldering. Now, going to a bouldering gym, going to bouldering outside, I'm not sure if this is safe alone, and also it comes with a little bit of risk and a lot of packing. But if you go to a climbing gym alone, it doesn't matter if you are a beginner or a professional climber. It's definitely worth checking out, because there is this thing in climbing, in bouldering, I would say. I've went bouldering alone for the past couple of months just because I've had fun doing it, and I'm not really good climber. I'm still at the beginning phase, I would say. But there is a point where you quickly realize you would need help, and so not only do you have control, like full control, full autonomy to go to a climbing gym alone, but also you are basically in the necessity to meet some people and get to know people. So making new friends in the climbing gym, because you have the same obsessions for climbing up plastic. Therefore, it is usually recommendable to go to a bouldering gym if you want to expand your social circles, if you want to expand your number of contacts, for example, if you want to get to meet new people, because at a certain point you're forced to ask people for help, ask people how they would solve this bouldering route. And also you're forced to communicate with other people if you, for example, want to film your route. One guy last time I went there, for example, asked me if I could film his boulder problem, how he solves it, and I filmed it. I was like cool with it. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And slowly but steadily you build up social contacts with it, you build up influence with it, you build up also a little bit of respect through it, because it takes balls to do certain activities alone. So bouldering for me, even though amusement parks are way more fun for me than bouldering, I would say bouldering is rationally, if we take a look at it rationally, the best option to do shit alone, first of all, while having fun, and second of all, meet some based people there. So basically, people with the same goals, probably also the same values. If after a while you get climbing and you're really obsessed about it, you will eventually pick up the same values of the climbing community, like a respect for the nature and stuff like that. So doing cool shit alone and meeting like-minded people, I think bouldering up until now is the best option for it. Of course, this video is expandable, so it kind of also, if you have any other great ideas or great experiences you would like to share with things you did alone and you had a lot of fun doing, write it down in the comments below. You're welcome. Thank you for watching.